Okay. What do you have to say about the officers demanding that the mayor resign?
Well, the city respects the union's right to have an opinion. There are a lot of opinions out there about the mayor, about the council, about the city, and they vary, a wide spectrum of opinions, and we respect that, and we'll just go forward doing business as usual.
Is the mayor going to step down?
You'd have to talk to the mayor about that, ask her that question.
Will she come out and make a public statement? I mean, she's aware that people are trying to talk to her.
She's aware of it, and we've got a call into her now to let her know about that.
What about the union's concern that this email makes an adversarial relationship between the city and the police unions to the point that they can't negotiate? I mean, there's a contract up for negotiations. Is the city concerned about that?
There is a contract up for negotiation right now, and it's being negotiated, and from the city's perspective, we're going to continue those negotiations at the table, as usual. Go in with the same ideas, present the same information, work with the union to come to some final resolution.
They're claiming there's an inherent bias that the mayor has made clear against the police force, and how could they possibly do business with a city that doesn't support the police force?
Right, that's an opinion of the union, and there are a lot of groups that have opinions out there. We respect that, but we are going to just continue forward with the union negotiations as planned before any of this started.
Does having the mayor a part of this process in any way taint these negotiations, given her public stance now against the police force, mistrust of it?
We don't think so. We're just going to go ahead and negotiate in good faith, the way we've planned all along.
Doesn't this create a rift now between the city and the police department that the police say you can't overcome?
We don't think so. We think by negotiating, according to the plan that we had before, that we think the union will work with us, and we expect it to move forward appropriately.
Well, how is that possible if the police say that she's got to go and you're saying, well, we're still willing to sit at the table? How do you think you can still bargain with the police department?
Well,
how could you reach any kind of an agreement?
They've got an opinion, but for us, the idea of trying to negotiate it in some sort of a debate in public won't work with us. We'll just go to the table as planned and carry forward our plan to have a negotiation.
But I mean, you still expect the police department to take you seriously?
We sure do.
Why is that?
Well, because our city management team goes in and negotiates seriously. Comes in with the numbers that they think will work, comes in with a plan, makes an offer, and works from there.
If there's an impasse, the mayor has some authority to impose, or along with the council, to impose a contract. Isn't that right?
That's correct. The
And-
council can impose a contract if there's not an agreement.
And she's, again, in this email, come out very publicly against the police department. How do you think that looks to the public when someone who is opposed to the police department gets to impose a contract?
Well, I'm sorry, ask that again?
If the mayor's come out publicly against the police department, how can she, in good faith, impose some kind of contract without her bias impacting?
Well, we have a full council that has to make a final decision on that, and it'll be a council decision. Will the council have a bias? We don't believe so. We believe it'll go forward in good faith.
Do you think this rift between police and the city in any way erodes the public trust of these institutions?
We haven't seen any evidence of that.
So overall, what effect do you think this spat is going to have on the contract talks that are ongoing?
We don't know what the union will plan to do or how it may affect them, but for the city, it's not going to affect us. We're going to just continue forward as planned.
If the mayor don't trust the police officers, how does she expect the citizens to trust them?
Well, I think you'd probably have to ask her that.
I mean, for her to say that, those are, pretty strong allegations.
Yeah,
Why,
Right, I think you'd be better off asking her that, because, well, I should make that clear. I am here representing the city. You have the collective decision of the council is the city's decision. Individual council members have individual ideas and philosophies, and we don't present that here from the city. From the city, we go forward with the city's perspective, and that includes the collective ideas of the council as implemented through city management.
Has the city manager spoken to the mayor about her email, or written to her, corresponded in any way?
I don't know. I know there has been nothing in writing. I know that because I've been asked that already.
Do you think the city commission should call on the mayor to quit if she won't herself?
Well, you're asking me to comment on what I think elected officials should do, and I won't do that.
But maybe for the good of the city, they should do that. If she's not willing to budge, maybe they should tell her, hey, it's time to move on.
Well, there's a lot of opinion out there.
I guess the question is, are there or have you heard of any other council members now asking for the mayor to?
We've not heard that at all.
Okay.
Have you heard from any other council members regarding this email?
No.
By the way, how close are the two sides, the police and the city, to reaching an agreement? Are they way apart, or you think an agreement is real close? What do you think?
Well, we have a policy when we're in negotiations, we don't discuss them publicly. They are public meetings, and the public can attend, but we don't want to add anything to that conversation that's not said in the room in negotiations.
Do you worry that if the police say that this is destroying their morale, that the city is not as safe as it could be?
That's not a concern for us right now. The plan is to just negotiate as we plan. If the union's got some other idea, some other opinion, we respect them to say that. But our expectation is to go into negotiations and have a negotiation.
Do you think that this very public press conference on the part of the union, you think they're using this as a negotiating tactic?
I'd rather not comment on that, because if we did, then that would be us trying to negotiate in the media, and that's not how we make contracts.
How many police jobs are at stake in this negotiation? I mean, in terms of, you're talking about job cuts here, right?
Well, if you're talking about how many people are affected by the contracts, roughly 250 police officers. If you're talking about how many people for potential cuts, I think the number's in the neighborhood of 30. I'll have to check back with you to get you something more precise.
Does the city manager still plan to go forward with the police cuts, given what's going on?
Yes, right now, our plan is to go forward with everything that we had already arranged.
Do you know when he plans, when the police officers plan to lay off?
Before October 1st, I don't know if we have a more specific date than that.
You're laying off 30 police officers. That's because of budget?
I'm gonna have to get with you to verify the number, but that's a ballpark figure. Our budget that we've been planning throughout this summer, which begins October 1st for the 2011 year, 2010, 2011, excuse me, calls for the cuts all across the city. Many people their positions have been eliminated already, and more are to come in the police department.
There will be more than 30 layoffs?
There'll be approximately 30. Position elimination is actually not a layoff per se. Layoff, if that term implies that the position will open up again somewhere down the future, that's not the plan. It'll be a position elimination, whereas we're staffed with approximately 250 officers now, that number would be reduced.
So there will be officers who will be given a pink slip saying you're gone?
That's correct.
And the city's doing that because we just don't have the money?
That's correct. Out of money. That's right.
Are there any details about how the layoffs will be based? Will it be based on seniority, or how is it?
In the police department, it's based on seniority.
Okay.